스트레인지 팅즈가 무료 배포 중입니다. 원래 약 5만원인데 기간 한정으로 무료로 풀렸어요. 80년대 사운드를 컨셉으로 만들어진 가상악기입니다. 플럭, 신스, 보컬, 기타 등 다양한 소리가 들어있어요. FX 기능도 내장되어 있어 본인이 직접 사운드 디자인을 할 수 있습니다. 다운받는 법은 다운로드 누르고 영원 결제 후 받아서 사용하면 됩니다. MPX 5.2 크로스 그리드가 75% 할인 중입니다. 오디오 렌즈를 무료로 받은 후 업그레이드 할 수 있어요. 믹스마스터 종결자 패키지입니다. 오존, 뉴트론, RX 등 곡 작업에 필요한 꿀템이 많습니다. 자동 믹싱도 지원해서 초보자분들이 쓰기 좋아요. 오디오 렌즈를 활용하면 레퍼런스와 유사한 믹스마스터도 가능합니다. 믹싱이 힘드신 분들에게 강추해요. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
Microphone plugged in. I'm using the actual microphones in the phone itself.
Now, as you heard there, that was recorded on my iPhone, but there's very little bottom end, and as you can see here, in the spectral display, there's very little high end as well. Now, spectral recovery will go in and intelligently add in bottom end and top end. It'll basically resynthesize those frequencies and make it sound better. So let's go over here. We'll click on spectral recovery. The window opens up. We'll tell it to learn. And now let's compare. So we've got our original audio.
What you're hearing right now is audio that was recorded on my iPhone.
And here's what spectral recovery did to improve that.
What you're hearing right now is audio that was recorded on my iPhone.
Now we can either choose to accept that or we can go in and edit it. For example, I think there's just a little bit too much bottom end there. It's actually starting to boom and thump just a little bit. So let's go ahead and drop that down and compare again. The cool thing is it'll give us another comparison of this second set of settings, so we can now work among all three. So here's our original.
What you're hearing right now is audio that was recorded on my iPhone.
Here's the first pass where spectral recovery learned the audio.
스마트 번들이 66% 할인 중입니다. 자동 믹싱 끝판왕이에요. EQ, 컴프, 리미터, 리버브입니다. 악기 장르별로 믹스 마스터를 할 수 있어서 꿀이에요. AI 믹스로 가이드를 잡고 직접 손봐서 작업하면 좋습니다. 믹싱이 고민이신 분들이 공부와 병행하면 좋아요. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
So now when I bypass, I can just hear whatever changes Smart Limit is actually making to the track and not getting distracted by the difference in loudness. This way, since it's compensated, I can hear the original mix compared to the compressed mix. This can be a real eye-opener, but in this case, this sounds like a pretty transparent limiting. Impressive. And we also have the delta here, which is great for hearing exactly what the limiter is compressing. This is the difference between the compressed signal and the normal signal. Next, we have our loudness readout expressed in LUFS or loudness units full scale, the most common standard for measuring loudness these days. I won't go into detail with this stuff in this review, but I encourage you to read up on these things further if you want to get deeper into mastering. But for now, Smart Limit is taking care of all this stuff for us. Moving back to the left, we have our big ol' limiter controls. As I mentioned earlier, turning up the input gain.
UAD 다이아몬드 에디션이 40% 할인 중입니다. UAD가 썸머 세일에 들어갔어요. 역대급 할인 중입니다. UAD 하드웨어가 없어도 사용할 수 있습니다. 믹싱할 때 레알 꿀이에요. 사운드가 상당히 깔끔하게 잡힙니다. 기타, 보컬, 드럼 등에 활용하면 좋아요. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
So it's really engaging the song quite a bit. It's probably too much pumping for this kind of track in the end, in the grand scheme of it all, when you want to have a finished mix. But to show you and to give you these examples on how powerful this compressor is, it's just so easy to do. That link knob is really making both sides kind of pump in a cool way, and I do have it slammed pretty hard. And when you get this plugin into your system, especially if you're new to this plugin, definitely turn those knobs and hear and learn what they do by using. Now let's check out this plugin on some individual tracks inside the song. Now let's check out the sound of this compressor on a drum loop. Here's the sound of the drum loop without any compression on it. Lots of cool tones in there and lots of low end. For this example, I picked a preset called Drum Bus Little Smack. And then I made some of my own adjustments. The mix is set to about 70. The threshold is at 8.
크리스탈 라인이 50% 할인 중입니다. 리버브 꿀템이에요. 캐릭터 있는 공간감을 만들 수 있어요. 깔끔한 리버브부터 캐릭터 있는 사운드까지 전부 연출이 가능합니다. 조작법도 직관적이라 쓰기 좋아요. 다른 리버브와 함께 사용해도 좋습니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요. 컴플리트 14 콜렉터스 에디션이 50% 할인 중입니다. 컴플리트 끝판왕에 오케스트라, 신스, 샘플 베이스, 가상악기, 드럼 등 작업에 필요한 모든 악기가 전부 들어있습니다. 미디를 한방에 해결하고 싶은 분들에게 강추해요. NI 사운드는 트렌디해서 모든 장르에 좋습니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
The choir collection is rejuvenated, with redesigned instruments and additional choir sections, with samples taken from our collaboration with Strezov Sampling, Choir Omnia.